So if you're on a losing streak and struggling to win, I suggest using Popol and Koopa in your ranked games. I promise your chances of winning will be really high if you use this hero. Whether it's 5-man or solo queue, this hero is strong if used properly. Just make sure you know his counters because he has a lot of them. Even if I had a rough start here because my own teammate killed me, I was still able to bounce back quickly since he farms fast. And that's what's great about him. If he has a good start, winning is almost guaranteed. But even if the start is bad, he can still recover easily, and you still have a high chance of winning. Most assassins can give him a hard time, but Fanny is the one you should always ban if you plan to use this hero. And it's not just assassins. Tank setters like Atlas and Tigreal can also make things really difficult for him. You probably already know that this hero is the fastest and strongest when it comes to pushing, basically because of his dog. My dog may have died here, but we can still push the turret. Popol and Koopa is on a different league when it comes to pushing, even compared to Zilong or Sun. What makes him great is his long range, and his dog takes the front line for you. Unlike other push-heavy heroes who struggle to push when enemies are guarding the turret, this hero can still push even with defenders around. Just turret lock right in front of the enemy and there's almost nothing they can do. And he's not just strong at pushing, he's also strong in team fights and isolated fights. That's why this hero is really good if you want to rank up. As long as you ban his counters, it becomes so much easier to win. But of course, if your teammates feed the enemies, you'll still have a hard time. Even then, you still have a chance, as long as you maximize his pushing potential. And this is one of those heroes where you don't really need teammates. I mean, he's one of the few marksmen who doesn't rely on a roamer. And I can prove that to you in this video. That's basically because he already has a partner, Koopa, who's always with him and super loyal to Popol. He's so loyal that if your hero dies, the dog dies too. But if the dog dies, your hero stays alive. And why would you even look for teammates when a single whistle is all it takes for your dog to be right there beside you to protect you? Meanwhile, your teammates, even if you kneel and beg, sometimes still don't care. So all my teammates got wiped out here, and there happened to be a turtle. But I was still able to take it even though I was alone. Well, technically there were two of us. At first I thought Popol would go full John Wick mode when his dog dies, but it turns out it's the opposite. He becomes really weak without Koopa. This hero is almost perfect if you want to rank up. I mean, he's strong in 1v1 fights, though technically it's 2v1, and he's strong in team fights too. And the most important thing when you're a solo player is having a hero that's great at pushing. Like I said, this is the strongest pushing hero in Mobile Legends. So why bother looking for other heroes when Popol and Koopa is right here? But in this game, I actually had a hard time because the enemies kept ganging up on me. They knew exactly who to target. But I managed to recall quickly at this part, and for sure the enemies didn't expect that. They had no idea I had that kind of technique. He also farms super fast and can take Lord or Turtle quickly, so you should use that to your advantage. The kind where the enemy doesn't even expect that you can burst the Lord that fast. You need to be good at that. And of course, you have to be confident in yourself that even if the enemy shows up, you can still secure it using Retribution. But yeah, my teammates should have backed off at that point, but they still forced a fight. It's funny having teammates like that. After getting the Lord, what they always do is fight the enemies right away, instead of waiting for the Lord to respawn. And by the way, his best role is actually jungle, but you can also use him in other lanes like gold lane. He's great there because of his third skill that gives vision in bushes, and he can easily fight other gold laners since it's basically a 2v1. Actually, he can even work in the EXP lane or as a roamer, as long as you understand your role. And once it gets to mid to late game, your focus should be on pushing turrets and providing vision on the map. So at this part, I was too focused on the Lord side and forgot that Argus was actually split pushing, meaning even if there's someone guarding the base, he could still finish the game on his own. Thankfully, he didn't. We also managed to kill Lolita and Carrie here, so this Lord should be easy for us unless someone steals it and I can't secure it. After we killed the Lord and were about to head back, Harith suddenly rushed in thinking he could handle it, but nope, he ended up dying, and even YSS got caught in the damage. And here are some simple tips when using this hero. When doing a combo, you can use the first skill first before activating the ultimate. Also, if your dog dies, it will automatically revive when you recall. Then sometimes it's better to take the third skill at level 2 so you can start stacking early. It can stack up to 3 times, which gives a big advantage if you get those stacks right away. By the way, here's the emblem I use on him. Even if he's a jungler, he doesn't need the seasoned hunter talent because he already farms so fast. Even without it, he still farms faster than almost all heroes. That's how unfair this hero is when it comes to farming and taking objectives. When playing him as a jungler, most players rotate to the EXP lane because most of the time, the enemy is alone there, making it easy to burst them down and push the turret quickly. Though of course it still depends on the matchup, some EXP laners are really hard to burst. The problem is, once the enemy figures out your rotation, they'll start anticipating it, which makes it less effective. That's why you shouldn't always stick to the same rotation. But even so, I'd still say that's the best rotation for this hero. The turtle is usually near that area too, so if you manage to take down the top turret, the timing lines up perfectly with the turtle's spawn. The issue with rotating to the gold lane instead is that if the enemy marksman plays safe, they're hard to kill, especially if their roamer, jungler, or even mid laner is also nearby. That's why it might actually be better to rotate to the gold lane on your second rotation, like after securing the turtle and clearing all your jungle creeps. Because once you take the turtle, the jungle creeps on the EXP side will respawn, so you can start from there and make your way toward the gold lane. It's a super convenient rotation, right? Efficient farming, objective control, and pressure on both lanes, all in one smooth path. Though in this game, neither of the turrets got pushed, we still managed to take all the gold plates, so that's still pretty decent, right? But ideally, you really want to destroy the turret too. Getting both the plates and the turret gives way more pressure and map control. But eventually, we did manage to push it, so things turned out really well. I had a really good start in this game, and like I said earlier, if you get a good early game with this hero, the win is almost guaranteed. He's basically your marksman and jungler in one, so even if your marksman throws, hopefully not, you can still carry the game. Popol is strong in both team fights and securing objectives, which makes him such a solid pick. The turrets were just a bit late to get pushed in this game because the enemies were really good at clearing minion waves. Even tanky heroes can be easily bursted by Popol and Koopa, especially the squishy ones. So if you're up against a Popol and Koopa, don't ever let him get good positioning, and always expect that 90% of the time, his rotation will be toward the EXP lane. That's a huge advantage if you can anticipate and counter it early. So at this point, we were already way ahead, and I even told my teammates to just wait for the turtle to turn into Lord since it was almost 8 minutes already. But 2 of our teammates didn't listen. When players don't know simple techniques like that, you can already tell they're probably low rank. I really hope more players become aware that if you're already dominating and the Lord hasn't spawned yet, it's better not to take the last turtle. Just wait for it to become Lord. It's a much smarter move. In the current meta, you can often end the game with just the first Lord if your team plays it right. And for those who don't know, the first Lord spawns at the 8-minute mark if the last turtle hasn't been taken. But if you kill the last turtle before 8 minutes, the Lord will be delayed and won't spawn until 2 minutes later. So that's a pretty big missed opportunity if you don't take advantage of it. But yeah, we still won this game anyway. Here's another game. I had a Hanabi teammate, and we all know how that usually goes. She was clearly just there to get carried, super confident about her win rate, MMR, and even her match history. But when you see that kind of IGN, you already know she's not going to do anything useful in the game. So in this part, my rotation was in the gold lane, and we managed to push the turret and kill the enemy marksman twice. But I also ended up dying, and the enemy secured the turtle. Right after that, our roamer immediately started blaming me.
They are gonna be so impressed by us, aren't they, Koopa?
And this part was just funny. Both of the clowns decided to group up in the top lane. They engaged the enemy while I was going to the bottom lane hunting Lilia.
Oh, I'm running out of pranks to play.
Then, as expected, both of them died up top. And guess what Estes said after that? He said we should push mid while he and Hanabi were busy feeding. It's hilarious how bold he talks like he's actually contributing something. He even chooses to stick with Hanabi instead of me, even though I'm the one securing objectives. What a clown. So here I already managed to push the bottom lane, and there's a turtle up. But as you can see, Estes was dead, and Hanabi is up in the top lane. Way too careless. But look where Estes is headed. He's going to Hanabi instead of coming to help us. What a clown. It's pretty easy for Eudora to burst me down, so I'm building Rose Gold Meteor. Once she runs out of skills and fails to burst me, I'll let my trusty dog take care of the rest. As you can see, our roamer prefers sticking with Hanabi, and I'm left alone most of the time, but I can still handle things on my own. That's usually how it goes when both of them lack game sense and always stick together for no good reason. Promise, it's really not worth it to support Hanabi users. Her hero is already weak, and most of the time the ones using her have little impact. And even if the game reaches late game, she's the kind of marksman that doesn't scale well. You can't expect clutch plays or carry potential even with full items. So in situations like this, Popol and Koopa can definitely finish the game, especially if the enemy team isn't complete. But my advice is to clear all the enemy minions first so your minions can get under the turret. Here, Zushin kept telling us to start the Lord, and without me, we really wouldn't have finished it, because Hanabi. What can you expect from her? She's a useless hero. Those who say Hanabi is strong just have skill issues. Almost 40k turret damage? That's pretty normal for this hero. So here, I'm in the gold lane because Karina didn't adjust. Even so, I was still kind enough to leash for her. I also wanted to try if he can handle gold lane. My only problem with this setup is that you really don't control the game early on. You're not the one roaming, you're the one waiting for visits. And I don't know why, but when I'm the marksman, I don't get visited. Yet other teammates get babysat by our roamer really well. Here, the enemy marksman always gets visited, and on top of that, I was also experiencing lag. Here's the funniest thing that happened in this game. Rafaela sacrificed herself thinking she could kill me, because we all know that when Rafaela dies, she has that passive that kind of takes the enemy down with her. We've seen this happen so many times already. I thought I was done for, but luckily my dog was there. But here's where I died. The enemy marksmen kept getting help because they knew they couldn't handle me alone, while I didn't even get any support from my teammates. But then Karina finally came to visit after I died. But she didn't kill anyone, so she just cleared the minions. Of course, I wasn't gonna let that go unanswered, so I took her purple buff and left the small one to delay its respawn. I already adjusted for her, but she still prefers clearing minion waves instead of farming. That player's really something else. Here again come the three enemies, ganging up on me once more, while I never get a single visit from my teammates until the 6-minute mark. Literally never. I thought our Karina was really smart because she picked Karina after the enemy picked Kimmy. And we all know that Kimmy's basic attacks get deflected back to the attacker when Karina uses her first skill. And of course, after she died, I took all her jungle creeps and, as usual, left the small one on the purple buff to delay its respawn. I mean, she asked for it. She never helped me and just cleared minions. That's how you should pay back, more than triple-fold what they did to you.
Double kill. Killing spree. Double kill.
I don't know why Rafaela always ends up being my target here. Poor thing, but I guess she asked for it since earlier she intentionally sacrificed herself.
Ally has been slain. Monster kill. Shut down.
You can really see from Karina's movements here that she doesn't know what she's doing. I thought she was smart and knew the counters, since she counters Kimmy and also counters Suyu because she deals magic damage. But turns out she's just not effective at all.
Go, Koopa.
And here's the game where we almost lost and we were really behind. But I believe Popol and Koopa can still turn around games like this. Oops, looks like it didn't happen after all.
Turret is under attack.
Karina played really solid here, totally fearless and confident. That's why sometimes fear is actually a good thing, because if you're too brave, the chance of getting into trouble is really high. I've been wanting to kill this mage earlier, and luckily I got him here because he overextended. Again, fear is sometimes a good thing. Our Zulong already went Super Saiyan here, and I know we've got this game in the bag. Zilong can definitely carry this match. Just listen, look, and listen, and learn.
Don't mess with Popol! Killing spree! Double kill! Launch attack!
This is our last team fight, and I'm telling you, the win is guaranteed when our Zilong suddenly goes Super Saiyan like this. At this point, the remaining enemies were magic damage, so I sold Wind of Nature and just bought Immortality instead. And this game was really satisfying because we fought hard, it wasn't easy, and the ending was really great. And one thing you might not know is that Koopa's HP gets fully restored when you use your ultimate, just like this.
Monster kill!
When the win is already guaranteed like this, what do you think is the best thing to do? Comment down below, and I'll for sure pin the first comment about this.